Hey guys, welcome to my Animal Adventures YouTube channel, and in this episode I want to show you my 27 female ball pythons that I'm using for breeding and the upcoming breeding seasons. Some of these projects I actually bought into, some of them I already bought as mature females, and I had a really good season last year from some of them, and I'm going to show you all of them individually one by one. And as a matter of fact, I was holding back some of my ball pythons, quite a few from last year, and I realized I just have too many snakes. With the ball pythons I have, the adults that I'm raising up, I could produce probably close to 200 hatchlings a year if they all produce. And on top of that, I could get another probably close to 50 for my reticulated pythons. So we're talking 250 ball pythons. There's no way I can fit all those in the room, especially if I start holding back more females from last year. So it really comes down to how many females can I handle, how much do I want to free up, and there's a lot of pairings from this year that I want to hold back some of those as well. So definitely want to, it's kind of a balancing act, going through some of my older females, some of the new stuff, and replacing it as I go. You don't want to have too many holdbacks in any particular year, and that's really why I'm selling a lot of my holdbacks this year, because I only want to keep just a few to slowly replace some of the older ones, some of the lower end normals and pinstripes and stuff like that. But in this episode, I want to go through and I want to show you all of my females. It's pretty impressive. 27 snakes. Let's check them out. Okay, so pretty much the organization of my snakes is I have all the hatchlings that I'm selling at the next show, mostly in these 3 rows, and then these 3 rows over here. I think I have about 22 ball pythons that I'm going to sell at the shows. If I have any that don't sell, I'm definitely going to hold some of those back. And then down here, pretty much from here on down, is these are a lot of my males, plus some of my females that I actually bought into last year, the year before, and the year before that. And over here, these are going to the show. And this whole rack over here, these are all the adult female breeders that a lot of them produced last year, and a lot of them will have the year off this year. Some of them I'm breeding, kind of rotating through depending on their body condition at the beginning of the year. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start pulling just the females and show you how many females I have. I did a quick count. There's 27 that I'm using for breeding purposes, and that doesn't include the ones I'm selling at the show, the holdbacks. And I'm getting to the point where I have a lot of snakes, a lot of females that are really going to produce, and let me show you what I have. Okay, so I'm going to start with one of my favorite ball pythons. This is my pastel spider desert ghost female, and I'm actually pairing up for the first time this year. Hopefully she'll lay. I paired her up with a male that is a pastel desert ghost, and if she lays, I'm definitely going to hold some of these babies back. This is one of the most stunning combos that I've ever seen, and I definitely want to produce more of these. And I know a lot of people are against the spider, and I'd probably, the only spider combo that I'm really interested in, really kind of promoting, is with the pastel desert ghost combo. It really makes a stunning combo once you add the spider, and it's pretty incredible. I don't really want to pick her up too much because she definitely has some eggs in her. Really hoping that she lays a nice clutch of eggs this year. So this beauty is a lesser clown female, and she was hatched out last year. She is really big for being 2017. Actually the year before last, so it's 2019 now. She's only, I'd say, probably a year and a half old. She still has, I would say, another year and a half before she's up to weight. But I'm really excited about getting into the clown stuff. And what I did is I actually picked up 2 clown females, and I'm waiting on my clown male. And I really want, probably thinking about doing something like a spot nose clown male, or maybe mixing some other genes in with the male. But I probably won't buy the male until maybe next year, when these girls are a little bit bigger and they're getting closer to the breeding season. It's always a good idea to wait on your males because the prices come down and you have a lot more to choose from if you wait a year or two. So here is a wonderful, beautiful snake. This is a pinstripe pied female, one of the most stunning combos that I have ever seen. And she went on a fast for a long time, and I finally figured out she only wants live rats. I don't know why she got on this kick to only eat live rats, and finally I started going with smaller live rats. They're pretty much immature and not too big of a... I don't really like to use live rats because they can really hurt the snake, and really I think the key to feeding live rats is to use one that's really on the small side so the snake doesn't have a problem with getting hurt by the rat specifically. I have a few live rat only snakes, and this is one of them, and it was kind of the trick to get her back on food, and hopefully now that I figured out the trick I could put some weight on her and get her up to breeding size a lot faster. But I'm thinking she's probably got another year and a half at least before she's up to size to even think about breeding this girl. So this one has some interesting genetics. This is actually a bumblebee, which is the spider and the pastel together. Really beautiful combo. And she's possible yellow belly, also possible het pied. So it's kind of a chance. I paid a lot less because of the possibility of the other genes. I think when I bought her, I think I only paid like $180 for her. She's definitely worth more now. And this is another live rat only ball python. And she's kind of really skittish to me. She used to really snap at me a lot when she was smaller. And I think one of the reasons she'll only do live rat is if I open the tub and try to feed her anything else, she really freaks out because she gets afraid of me instead of focusing on the rat, trying to eat the rat. And when I slip in a live rat, she doesn't really see me and she eats it a lot easier. And that's kind of the trick I found on her. She fasted for probably 8 months before I started trying live rats, and she started eating them on a regular basis, which is pretty incredible. So this girl I paired up pretty early. I took a chance. She was up to weight, but she's still pretty young, only a couple years old, and I actually paired this one with my albino pied male, and this is a clown female, so I'm hoping for the triple hets. All the babies will look normal. They'll be het for clown, pied, and albino, and I definitely want to keep at least 2 of those, maybe 3 of those as holdbacks, maybe even 4, maybe like 3 females and a male, and that would really be powerful because I could produce a whole rainbow of stuff from those snakes, which would be pretty awesome. Here is a lesser pied female, and I'm thinking she has a little bit of head wobble in her, and I'm thinking she might have a little spider in the mix that I didn't bargain for, and it just kind of came as an extra surprise when I got the snake. Either that, or for some reason the lesser pied has some kind of a head wobble to it, but I've never heard of it. I'm thinking there might be spider in this mix, which I didn't even know until she got a little bit older. She's getting a little bit of a head wobble, but I definitely want to prove her out and see if I can maybe make some lesser pieds without the spider, without the head wobble, or if it's inherent to just this lesser pied combo. She's a really beautiful snake. I'd say it's one of the brightest white, stark white snakes that I have ever seen. So this one actually has the spider in with the pied. This is a spider pied. It's a white wedding, and you can see I have a little gnat on her. I've been having this gnat problem, been hanging up some fly paper, trying to get rid of my gnats. Anyway, these gnats are driving me crazy. And anyway, this is the spider with the pied. It's a spider pied, and usually with the spider pied you have a little bit of the color on the head. On this particular female, it's actually completely white, which they call a white wedding, and she's a really neat snake. She has a little bit of a head wobble, but it's not as bad as some. Here's a really big, high contrast albino. She's kind of going into shed, and last year she laid a bunch of eggs who had some really cool albino babies from her, and she actually has the year off because my albinos both laid really late, and I didn't think I was ready to pair them up. They really need to have some body conditions. Both my albinos have the year off. This one actually has been eating really well. My other one hasn't eaten much at all since she laid eggs. Here's a really big normal. I paired her up this year with my Coral Glow 100% het pied. So she'll, hopefully she's big enough, definitely big enough to have a really big clutch of eggs. I would say a snake like this could probably have 8 or 9 eggs easily. And half of them will be Coral Glow, half of them will be 50% het pied. So you can actually see the 50% het pied if the Coral Glow is not in the mix. If you get a Coral Glow, you really can't tell if it's het pied or not. But if you strip off the Coral Glow just in the normals, usually you can see if it's het pied or not by the tracks on the belly. But the big normals, you can pick them up really cheap. I think I picked some of these up for like 100, 150 bucks a piece, and you can really produce some really awesome snakes if you pick the right males. Here is a really big, beautiful lesser. We think she's het for ghost because it's a little bit brighter than my other lesser. And this year I paired her up with my scaleless head. And if you pair up snakes and they copulate and everything seems right, there's one element that's missing in this particular pairing, and that is this girl went off food the second I paired her up. And if they go off of food and they don't get any extra weight into them, a lot of times they just won't have the body mass to actually lay the eggs, to develop the eggs. So I'm thinking, even though she has a good body condition and I've paired them up several times, I've seen the copulation, I'm thinking she might not lay because she really hasn't been eating, unfortunately. Okay, so this is a pastel female. I actually have a few pastels. This is pastel female number 1. I kind of mark them so I can keep track of the lineage, what comes from what. And this particular snake this year, I paired it with my bamboo, and she's been eating really nice. I've seen some copulation. She looks like she's almost to the point where she might be ovulating here pretty soon. And I'm thinking another month or two and we'll have eggs from a lot of these snakes. And this one, I'm definitely looking forward to getting a nice clutch of eggs. And on average, you'd say about 50% of the babies are going to be bamboos on this one. So take a look at this beauty. This is as good as it gets. She just shed out. This is my pied female, and I'm pairing up my Coral Glow 100% het pied. You know what I'm shooting for is the Coral Glow pieds that I've been trying to work on that project for years, and I've been able to hit it. This girl was really slow at the beginning of the breeding season to eat, and she just would not eat and would not eat, and I finally realized this girl too is live rat only. She's driving me crazy, and the live rats, she seems like she's back on a regular schedule, and these live ratters, for some reason, they won't eat anything else prepared any other way. It's just live rat only, and it drives me crazy. I think I have 5 that are live rats that just refuse to take anything else. If I try anything else, they'll just fast for 6 to 8 months and just totally refuse to eat. But I'm really hoping for the Coral Glow pieds this year. Well, I didn't see a copulation on this girl. This is a normal, and I paired her with my fire pied male. Pretty powerful genetics. So I will get fires and normals, and they will all be 100% het pied. Looking for more fire pieds. A fire pied female would be pretty cool. And remember, if you take a fire pied and cross it with a fire pied, you can potentially get a pure white snake, which is the super fire. Even without the pied, you can still get the super fire. So here is my albino 100% het pied female, and ever since she laid eggs, she just refuses to eat. She's driving me crazy. I bought her as a live rat only female, and she took a few live rats at the beginning. Now she won't even eat a live rat. I don't know what's going on. She has the year off. I'm not breeding her, and sometimes these snakes, they'll just fast for months and months, some of them up to almost a year at a time. I've had some that'll fast for a whole year, and then for whatever reason, they'll just snap out of it and just start pounding the rats. They'll gain weight really fast and really surprise you. So this one, she's kind of driving me crazy. She might have next year off if she doesn't start eating again. Talk about a stubborn female. This one refuses to eat anything. She probably hasn't eaten in 6 months, and about 6 months ago she took freshly prepared, euthanized, soft-furred rat. And that's the first thing she ate. She's probably only eaten like 2 or 3 meals in a whole year. and she almost looks like a male. She's so skinny, and she just has been driving me crazy. I can't figure out what the trick is to get this girl to eat, but hopefully at some point she'll start eating again and I can actually breed her. But of course she has to get about to 1,500 grams, and she is nowhere near that. You definitely don't want to pair them up if they don't have the body condition, because all it really does is just prolongs them, puts them off food even more. Here's another normal girl that I'm pretty sure she'll go this year. She's been eating really well. She's got some really good body condition. I'm pairing her up with my bamboo, so hopefully 50% of the babies will be just straight bamboos. And I'll get some more normals. 50% will be normals. Normals are always a good seller at the show. They're really inexpensive, and usually my normals sell fastest compared to all my other snakes. Here's a nice big lemon blast. She's been eating really well. I paired her up with my coral glow. I'm really hoping for the pinstripe coral glows. I don't know if you've ever seen pictures of them, but they are really stunning. I'm tempted to hold back a pinstripe coral glow just because it's such an awesome snake. Here is a big pastel female. I didn't think she really had the body condition this year, and she's really still pretty much off of food. I haven't paired her up. She's got the year off, and if there's any chance that I'm affecting the health from, pairing them up without the body condition, I'll definitely avoid it. Definitely don't want to pair up snakes if they don't have the body condition at the beginning of the season, especially if they're not on food. Here's another lemon blast that's been doing really well. I actually paired her up this year with my pastel desert ghost male. So everything will be 100% het desert ghost if she lays, and it looks like she's got the body condition. She'll probably lay this year, I would think. She's got a really good chance. She's looking really good. So I would get pinstripes, lemon blast, super blast, which would be the super pastel pinstripe, and they would all be het desert ghost. And of course, if I get something like a super blast het desert ghost, I'll definitely hold that back to pair back and get the pinstripe in with my pastel desert ghosts. So when I did an ultrasound on this girl, I found that she's going to be the first snake to lay out of all of them. She is a really big snake. This is 100% het caramel albino. I crossed it with my bamboo, so half the babies will be bamboo and all of them will be 50% het caramel albino. So this pinstripe's been doing really well. She fasted for a long time, just barely got onto food before I paired her up, and I was kind of on the fence whether to pair her up or not, and ever since I paired her up, she's really been slamming the rats. I paired her up with my albino pied, so I'll get normals and pinstripes that are 100% albino, 100% het pied, which would be some pretty powerful offspring. So here is another lesser female. This one actually laid last year. I paired her with my bamboo. This is where I got all my lesser bamboos from this girl. 2 beautiful lesser bamboos. And this year I gave her the year off because she wasn't really up to weight. She looks like she has some pretty good body condition now. It's always a chance. You never know if you want to pair them up or not, and I'm kind of glad that I didn't pair her up. She's got a little extra body weight now. She'll definitely be ready to go this upcoming year. So this female is 100% het caramel albino. I paired her up with my spider pied male, and she's been eating really well. This is really the first spider babies, pure spiders, that I'll probably have ever. And I know spiders not really popular. Some people don't like them from the head wobble, and I've had a lot of people come up to the show and say, hey, where's all the spiders and the bumblebees? I've been looking for a bumblebee for 5 years and I can't find one. I have one at home. It's my favorite snake. It's a really controversial subject, I'd say, breeding spiders. And I thought I'd dabble a little bit in the spiders. I'm not going to go crazy into the whole spider project, but this girl, she is really big. She could probably have between 8 and 10 eggs. She's really big. Hopefully I'll get a few spiders to have available at the show. So this lemon blast, obviously you can tell by her body condition, she has not been eating. She's another one. She's driving me crazy. She won't take live or frozen rats or mice. I even tried African soft furs, and she just is really, really picky. She laid eggs last year. She's kind of stuck in a little bit of a shed. I've been trying to keep a little extra moisture in the substrate to give her a little humidity in the tub and trying to get the shed off. But I don't know why, for some reason, I just have these snakes that for whatever reason, they just stop eating for a long time. Drives me crazy, and this is one of them. Here's another lemon blast female, really big. I think this one kind of has some kind of a giant gene. Her head is really big and thick compared to all my other snakes, and it seems like she's just maybe from a different lineage from all my other ball pythons. She's just really big and like really thick skulled, I guess you would say. I paired this one up with my pastel Desert Ghost male. So this is like my second shot at trying to, this one's kind of a little bit skittish. I really wanted to show you the head. Look at how big the head is on that thing. It's really, really a big-headed ball python. It's almost like maybe she's mixed with something besides ball python. I don't know. But she is really interesting. She laid last year, had a really good clutch of eggs. And I'm really trying to work the Desert Ghost in with the pinstripe, especially like a lemon blast Desert Ghost. That would be really awesome. So take a look at this beauty of a snake. This is what Spider does. This is pretty much your base Spider. When I bought it, they told me it had jungle woma in it, which is like an enhancer and a reducer. And I had babies last year, and I couldn't see the jungle woma in any of the babies. I sold them as possible jungle woma. And this one, for some reason, she's been a mouser only. It's really hard to get the weight on. As a matter of fact, when she laid eggs last year, she got egg bound. Two of them were stuck inside of her, and it took a long time for her to pass those two eggs, and those two eggs didn't make it. And I'm giving her the year off because she had a hard time laying last year, and she's just really hard to get the body condition on because she's a mouser, and it's a spider. So a lot of people are against spiders. Not like I want to produce a whole bunch of spiders. I still want to produce some. It's a really awesome morph if you can get around the head wobble. If you can get some, that are, not crazy head wobbly. And this one is really, you can tell by her head, you can't even really tell she's a spider. She has almost virtually no head wobble at all. Really a beautiful snake. This is my beautiful pastel calico female. This is where all my pastel calico bamboo stuff came from. I crossed her with the bamboo last year, and she laid pretty late. She didn't really start eating until it was pretty late into the season, so I gave her the year off on this one, and she's been pretty much a sporadic eater. She started really, hitting some really big rats that were fresh killed, and then she kind of went on a fast again. It looks like she could take another one just by the way she's moving her head looking at my finger. But the last rat she took was a small live rat because she's really been picky, but she actually ate the live rat. So I'm thinking maybe she'll be ready next year. I actually paid a pretty good premium for the snake. I think I bought it last year for about $800 on Morph Market plus shipping. So I think it was close to $900 or $1,000 by the time I got her home, but definitely paid off with some of the offspring I have. And I think calico is a really underrated gene. You mix it with a lot of stuff and it really makes it pop, especially with the bamboo. Okay, so there you have it. Those are my ball python females and kind of the plans that I have as far as this year and some of the upcoming plans for the following years. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.